Hello, my name is Abby. Welcome to my channel, or if you're not new here, hello, welcome back. I thought today we would do a long overdue plant tour, because it's definitely been a while since I showed you around my plants. I guess I haven't really done one in a while because I don't have a lot new. I have a lot of plants, but a lot of them have been here for a long time now. So if you've seen my plant videos before, you will have seen many of these plants, in previous years, other than, I've been on like a little bit of a Hoya kick the last little bit. So you'll definitely see some Hoyas you haven't seen before, but I just kind of thought I would take this opportunity to kind of show you around the plants and show you how they're doing and chat a little bit about them. I will say to start off with, I want to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant not in the room. My Thai Constellation is no longer in this room. She simply grew too big, and she was taking up so much space, and she was falling over. So she's now on our front porch. And as much as this pains me to say, my plan is that at the end of the summer, I will take a top cutting and let the bottom of her die, and then we will grow out the top cutting and we'll start all over again. Now, I say that with the knowledge that every time I try to get rid of a big plant or something, my mom usually stops me because she goes, "No, wait," and she like has to save it. One time I was taking a picture of a plant to literally put it on Facebook Marketplace, and she was like, "No, wait," and now it lives in our bathroom. So my plan is to let the bottom of the Thai Constellation die. Who knows if that will happen? I just simply don't have the space in this one tiny room for all that plant, right? But she's on the porch. She's living her best life this summer. She's still growing. I see new leaves on her all the time. I just have to do what I can with the space I have, right? And I would rather have a bunch of small plants than one big one, right? Especially because I'm 3 feet tall and not very strong, right? A big plant is not very conducive to my general physical situation, right? So yeah, that's the deal with the Monstera, but let's just talk about the rest of my plants. Okay, so remember how I said that not much had changed in here? Keep that in mind because especially over here, there's not a whole lot that's changed. I did shut the plant light off because I think it might make things easier for you to see. But in the corner here, I have my Stromanthe that I've had for a very long time. I've had it since it was in a little 4-inch pot. And now I just take it out every 2 weeks and water it, and it goes about its day. Very similarly, I have this, I think it's a lemon lime pothos. It's just kind of neglected in this pot. It gets kind of attacked by these pillows. But it's alive, and it's alive. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Up here is my umbrella tree. That's the same umbrella tree I had before, but she was growing really to one side, so I chopped her off. And then I potted the cuttings, and they have rooted, and this is what we have now. And the money tree used to be here. I did get rid of her. I gave her away on Marketplace because she was also growing really far that way. This is what happens when you don't turn your plants. But she now has a new home, and I don't know if she's happy, but she's not here. This is the same angel wing begonia that I've also had for a long time. I bought it as a little cutting at the Reptile Expo, and it's now this tree, and I've cut it down about 1,000,000 times, and it grows back every time. I think I'm going to chop it right down to the nubs this time, because it just grows so fast, and there's nothing I can do. Like, I don't have the space for this really big, massive begonia, so we just keep cutting her back and hope for the best. Continuing on the begonia train, I have been kind of on a begonia kick lately, so I did recently purchase this Begonia maculata here. I've tried Begonia maculata many times in the past, and every single time it's died, every single time. But this one's been a couple weeks now, and it's okay, so we're going to just keep going, and similar to the angel wing begonia, I'm just going to keep cutting it down when it grows up, making cuttings of the pieces that I cut off, potting some of them in with it, giving the other ones away. Just keep going. Endless cycle. Beside it here, this is the same pink princess philodendron I've had for a long time. She's doing much better now than she used to be. Her leaves are growing out quite big, and they're actually like unsticking themselves by themselves without me having to help them. If you notice, some of the bottom leaves are all ripped because I tried to help them out and I failed. But now it's old enough and it's getting big enough that it does it by itself. So I'm working on it constantly. It is growing. It has now outgrown its moss pole, but we're just going to keep letting it go anyway. And that pot that it's in, actually, that Pokemon pot, my younger sister painted for me, so it's very important to me. This Haworthia, my mom bought me a couple of years ago at Grape and Wine Festival. She went by herself because she really wanted a blooming onion. I don't even know if she asked anybody else if they wanted to go with her, but she just kind of up and went and came back with her blooming onion and this Haworthia in this pot for me and said, "I bought this for you." And I still have it many years later, and it even has a little baby. And Chihiro. Beside it, this is what's left of my dragon scale Alocasia. This bottom leaf is gone, basically, but it did just put out this leaf, so we're just gonna keep at it. I think that's my only Alocasia at this moment. I think the rest of them had died. There was some kind of mass exodus of my Alocasias recently where they all died at once, so that's the only one left. Yeah, and Bob fell over and I didn't even notice. Beside the Alocasia Dragon Scale is a newer one to my collection. This is the Begonia Benigo Pink, I think. And it's very pink on the undersides, very spotted on the top. I thought it was beautiful and I wanted it, so I bought it. This here is the Philodendron Cream Splash. It is dying because I forgot to water it last weekend. That's how dramatic it is. Look at this. Like, too much gene. It kind of pisses me off. It was hanging from the window, but it looks ratty. I don't know why, like, it didn't grow straight and nice. It looks bad. I've fallen out of love with this. This might be the last time you ever see it. I don't know. It's not my favorite anymore. I guess it'd probably be better if I took care of it and then gave it away on Marketplace, but it's just it's not happy, so I don't know. This is my Manjula Pothos. This is the same one I've always had. It was growing 2 big vines, and they were kind of scraggly and ugly looking, and so a while ago, like, I chopped them off, and I did propagate them, but the nubbins were growing back so nice. Like, look at this. Oh, there's a dead leaf. Well, but, like, the nubbins were growing back so nice that I just didn't even need the cuttings anymore. So this is ideal to me. I think this is gorgeous looking. Is there another dead leaf? Yep. Dang, you'd think I'd never look at my own plants. Oh, the most important thing that I'm growing. The most important thing. This, like, sort of second row here has 3 plants. It's got Hoya Silver something. I don't remember what that one's called. Beside it is a Philodendron Yellow Ghost. I had never seen it before, and I came across it at the plant store recently, so I bought it. That was all. No research, no nothing, I just bought it. And then these are the cuttings from my string of hearts. I used to have a really long, luscious string of hearts, and I got rid of it and chopped the ends off, and this is what we have left. I really enjoyed growing my string of hearts that time, so we're just going to grow it out from scratch all over again. Moving down to the bottom here, we have my Venus flytrap. Not much to say there, it's just in its little close, living its life. In front of it, we have my African Violet, which I love, and I keep. It's not in flower at the moment, but it does flower fairly regularly. I think it's very cute. Beside it is my holiday cactus of sorts. I've had that one for a while, but ever since I moved it over here, right under the plant lights, it's been growing much more ferociously, much more vigorously. So we're just gonna let that happen. This with Haku is my booby cactus. Look at it, boobs. Last time I had a booby cactus, I overwatered it and it rotted. So we're gonna hope this one goes well. And then beside it is my, what's this one called? Monstera Mint. They had them at one of the local plant stores, and Alyssa was getting one, and so she told me to get one too. So I did. That was all the thought that went into that. Yeah. In front of it, I have this succulent. I don't know what it is. I just thought it looked cool, so I put it in Bulbasaur. And then this is my bear paw succulent that I've had for a while now. It actually lives on my windowsill usually, but because the air conditioning's in the window right now, it doesn't fit. So when summer is over, it will go back into the window, and it will probably be happier because it's been dropping a lot lately because it probably doesn't get enough light. But it is still live, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Oh yeah, I also almost missed the Hoya Additions up here beside the Monstera Mint, and then this is what's left of my nerve plant. I tried to propagate it because it was getting, like, sort of leggy, and I only had, like, 4 branches, but it just still looks bad. Oh well. Moving over here, I have this bicolor lipstick plant. It's just 2 vines for the moment. I'm probably going to chop it. See, look how dry it is. It really needs to be watered. But we're probably going to chop it and prop it soon, just so I get more than just these 2 vines. And then beside it, we have my rattlesnake Calathea, which I've had for a very long time. And then this little shelf over here is just my anthurium these days. And then here we have my giant fiddly fig, which really needs to be dusted. But she's still here and she's happy. And then this is my lavender plant, which isn't doing all that well. But it does still smell like fresh lavender, and that is ultimately what I wanted it for. Finishing off this little area up here, we have my Pilea peperomioides. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that this is like my 6 millionth attempt at growing this plant. I have failed every other time. I'm assuming I will fail this time. I just keep trying because I think it looks cool. And there's nothing more to say than that. Behind it, we have my Zenzi ZZ plant. It's like a Raven ZZ plant, but the sort of kind that this is, it grows a little bit shorter, so the leaves are more squished together, and I just like how it looks better, especially in this small space. Beside it, in the middle of the frame there, is my Dracaena Janet Craig. It is the oldest plant in my collection. It is one of the first plants I ever bought. Is it boring? Yes. Has it grown a lot in the last, like, 7 years? No. Do I still have it? Yes, and that's, I think, what matters the most. Similar story in the front here in this tiny little pot is my Tortum, Philodendron Tortum, I think. I've also had this one for a couple of years now, and it's still in that little 2-inch pot. It has hardly grown, probably because it was hidden behind the Thai Constellation for a long time. But now it's not, so maybe it'll grow more this summer, who knows. And then this mammoth on the wall here is my Cebu Blue Pothos. I don't know what to do with it. It is so humongous. It's like wrapped around itself 400 times. It's a monster. I don't know what to do. In the very back corner, you can't really see it, but there's my Frizzle Sizzle. Those ones need more light in the winter, so in the winter it'll go back on my windowsill as well, but in the summer I just put it back there, and it barely has any sort of leaves or fronds or anything this time of year, so it just sits back there. In front of it is my Syngonium pot. I have both the milk confetti and the sort of basic Syngonium in the same pot, because they looked so similar that having them in 2 sections felt stupid, so they're just in here together with the radish spirit. And then this is a regular Monstera Deliciosa that I purchased because I didn't have one and I felt like I was supposed to. Oh, and then if you remember my big goldfish plant, these are the cuttings from it. The goldfish plant itself got way too big for in here, so I took some cuttings. I gave the goldfish plant to my mom because she wanted to save it. Spoilers, she ended up killing it. And so this is all that's left. So we're going to regrow out the goldfish plant for funsies. Above the gecko tank is my Domino Peace Lily. She is very temperamental. She wants to be watered on the same day every week, and if I miss a day, she loses a whole bunch of leaves and gets very mad at me. So I've been tending to her demands. And so far, so good. She has a lot of new growth. I do get worried that she's going to fall off the gecko tank, but so far she has not. And that is actually the only spot in the whole room that fits her because she is so wide at this point. So she has to live up there. Please don't fall over. Oh no, man down, man down. It's this stupid backpack he wears. It's too heavy. He just falls over all the time. Can I do this with one hand? Not really. On this side of the gecko tank, we have my Marble Queen Pothos, which I've had for a very long time. She's kind of happy over here, actually. I cut her recently so that she could have new growth and not be so bald on the top, and so far it's going very well. Beside her is just a little snake plant baby that I think I took out of the gecko tank or I took from work or something. And then these are my isopods. There's not a ton of them left, but there are still isopods in there. This is what they call a fairy cactus. I have had a couple of fairy cactuses over the years. I always kill them by overwatering them. So far, this one is okay. I did water it last weekend for the first time in like 6 months, so we'll see how it goes. Up here at the top of the gecko tank with the Domino Peace Lily is my Hoya Croniana Silver. It did have one vine that was really long before, and I cut it to propagate it last weekend, so it won't be ready for another couple weeks, but I really would love to have just like this thick Hoya with its sort of silvery leaves cascading down the side of the gecko tank. The gecko tank itself is a little bit of a different story. It's not great in here. It dries out so fast, and while Roger himself, I'm sure, is fine, he eats like a champ these days. He's constantly having eggs. I'm always nervous whenever he's egging, but it seems to go well. The plants get really dry, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm using the wrong kind of bulbs. I don't know, maybe it's getting hotter in here, but yeah, like you can see the tops of the snake plant are just like crisped up. And yeah, but there are a couple of snake plants in here, as you can see. There was originally just 1 or 2 snake plants in here, but then over the years, they've put out babies and multiplied by themselves. And then there's one little tiny Dracaena Janet Craig there that I bought at IKEA. And then there's a Micans, Philodendron Micans. That's the sort of velvety leaves you're seeing in here. I don't even have a big version of the plant anymore. I just have the little one. And then, of course, the golden pothos. And then there actually are a couple of ZZ plant babies in this corner over here as well. And that's pretty much it for the plants in the gecko tank. I wish some of these edges weren't so fried. Doesn't look great. But this is the reality of having a planted tank. It's not going to look great all the time. And it is always a struggle to not get the peace lily indoors. Okay, now let's move over to my desk area. It's kind of a super duper mess over here because I was just shooting something else. So just ignore that. I'm also just a mess, and that's why it's so messy. In the corner over here, we have my Dracaena Twister, otherwise known as Lucinda, otherwise known as potentially the most neglected plant in my collection. I forget to water her all the time, and that is why so many of her leaves are crispy, and there's also no leaves on like her whole bottom half, although she does have a little baby coming out there, if you see. So, yeah, sorry, Lucinda. She's reaching for the plant light, which she deserves, really. I feel bad about her sometimes, but we're just gonna move on. Up at the top here in this tiny little pot is my Hoya Mathilde. The Hoya Mathilde Splash, particularly, is what I think the genus, like the coloring is. I think it's called Splash. Is one of, I think, my favorite looking Hoyas. Is just such a cool, variegated type deal. So I really would love to have a big one someday. So that's why it's got kind of its own little plant light. And then beside it is my Dracaena Lemon Lime. If you've been here for a while, you remember the story of her. I found her in the clearance section at Walmart one day, and I bought her, and she was very small then, and now she's huge. I'm constantly afraid she's going to fall on my head while I'm working. She hasn't yet, so we're just going to let her live her life up there and hope for the best. Moving over here, this is my cat palm. I think that's what it's called. Ironically, it is the only plant in my whole collection that Lena likes to chew on. She comes up on my desk and she chews on it. And I think it's so funny that she would pick the only plant with cat in the name to chew on. So I let her. It's cat safe, so I just let her chew on it. That's why the ends kind of look a little gnarly. But yeah, that's my cat paw. Cat paw? Oh my god. I'm having a hard time speaking. Beside it here is my English ivy. You might look at her and think she looks pathetic. At the moment she does, but it is another situation where she had 3 vines that were all growing very big and very long. So I've cut them off and they are in water over there by the gecko tank propagating. If I can get those to propagate, she will be much more full and much more luscious. And I know that you can't plant ivy outside because it's an invasive species, okay? I would not do that. But I wish she was growing all over the place in here because I love the look of lots of ivy. It's very, like, I don't know, very woodland cottage, listening to Evermore type deal. And I just love that aesthetic. So I would love to have a big ivy just, like, growing up the wall or something. And for now, all I have is this little tendril of ivy. Up behind her on the spider web trellis that we made a couple years ago is my Hoya Carnosa. We put this trellis together a couple years ago, and she was a much smaller plant then. She's a lot bigger now, although she lost a couple of leaves in the last couple of weeks, and that does make me nervous, but I'm hoping it's just normal, natural shedding. She has, like, pretty much never lost a leaf before, and then she lost, like, 3. So we're hoping for the best, but she does have a couple of spots that have, like, some new growth, like, right there, and there's a spot up here that has some new growth, and yeah, so things are happening, so I'm hoping for the best for her. Out of all the Hoyas in this room, I've never had a Hoya flower. I would love to have one flower, especially her, but I remain hopeful without getting my hopes up. Beside her on the wall is my Tradescantia Nanook. This is actually one of the first times I've ever successfully grown this plant. Previously, I had purchased this plant many times and killed it within a few weeks, and I think I've now had this one for, like, a while. And it's been in this basket, and I trim it when I think it looks kind of scraggly. Like, so I look at this section here, and I want to cut that, and then I want to cut this long off. And it's actually putting out babies at the top, which I love. So the top is going to be nice and full, hopefully. And, That's my goal with this plant, is to get it looking luscious and full. Because I think it's, I have so many plants and a lot of them are just green. So I would like to have a couple more that have some color in them. And this is one of those plants. And then are you going to be able to see these? Nope, too backlit. We're going to have to wait till nighttime. See you in a bit. And just like that, it is now nighttime and we can look at the window plants. Inarguably my favorite sort of plant location in the whole room, because it's so magical to be laying in bed and then wake up and have all of these beautiful plants around you, okay? So I have made some changes up here over the last couple of months. This on the right-hand side is my Hoya, I think she's a Crimson Princess. I've had her since she was just a little one, and I uppotted her to a 4-inch pot, and then she was so heavy that she was pulling herself out. So I uppotted her into this pot and then kind of put the hangy thing on the pot and the hangy thing are not a match, is what I'm saying. So I'm kind of testing my luck with those together. But I really just want her to have the chance to grow and cascade and be this beautiful, luscious Hoya. And I felt like the window was the best place for her. And now she's in a nice big pot, so she should be happy. Yeah, the Philodendron cream splash that I showed you before used to be there, and I'm much happier with this there because I just think it's beautiful. Beside it is my string of peas. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret to the string of peas is just having it in natural light. Having it in, mine's an east-facing window, but somewhere where it gets a lot of sun. I've tried the string of peas many, many times over the years, failed every time. This is the first time it's actually gone well, and I actually cut it up to here not too long ago, and it's already like regrown, and you can't see the very top of it because it's up there obviously, but it's not bulb headed at all. There's lots of peas up at the top too, so I'm just gonna have this beautiful cascading thing of peas, and it's gonna be perfect and beautiful, and I'm so excited about it. And I would love to put this ring of hearts back up here someday, but it's just not the time now. That's a really good segue into the sort of cloud pot, because I bought this pot at Walmart during Valentine's Day. I thought it was cute, and I saw them when they were full price, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till one goes on sale and the plant's like dead, because I didn't want the little pink plant that was in it. It's just like a Dracaena or something, I don't know. And basically what happened is they did go on sale eventually, but the little plants were still in it, and then I've accidentally taken care of the little pink plant, so it's fine now. I wanted to put the string of hearts in it, and I just don't have the heart to throw this perfectly healthy plant out, so we're just going to keep it in there. Like I said before, a lot of my plants are just green, so having that splash of pink in the middle I actually quite like, so it's fine. But once it gets either too big or it dies or something, then I will take it out and put the string of hearts in there. But for now, that pink is there. Beside it is my Hoya Curtisii, which this is the same one that I've had for a while now. I keep cutting it and trying to propagate it and whatnot. Yeah, because I had one tendril that was like really long, so that's in water now. And it's actually growing really well in the window. It was growing well not in the window, but it's growing much better in the window. There's like babies and stuff. And I just think the Hoya Curtisii's leaves are such a unique sort of Hoya shape. They're so short and squat, like me. And so I'm looking forward to maybe someday having like a full lush basket of it and being able to say I grew that myself, right? Beside it is a plant I can say I grew myself so far, and that is like a rickrack cactus, a fishbone cactus, whatever you want to call it. If you've been around here for a while, you remember when I first got it, it was like 3 little branches, and now it's this huge thing. Originally, I wanted the rickrack cactus over here, but when I bought this basket, it wasn't full enough, and then we were going through a weird phase where you couldn't find rickrack cactuses in stores, so I couldn't get more to like bulk it up with. So I just didn't do that, and now of course mine is luscious enough that I could have put it in there, but yeah, here we are. This is how it's set up. It's in the same sort of pot mismatched hanger situation as the Hoya on the other side, because I just wanted them to match. Yeah, I had them as different pots, and it was making me insane. I needed to have 2 of the same on each side of the cloud because of my various mental illnesses. On top of the bookcase here is my Hoya Linearis. I actually found an old picture of my Hoya Linearis, and apparently it used to be really big and luscious, and I don't really know what happened. Why did I fail at taking care of it? I don't know. So that's all that's left, but it is growing. Like, you can't really tell from this angle down here, but there are a couple of little baby sprouts coming up at the top. But this long piece, the very bottom of it, was getting yellow, and you can see that it is still kind of yellow, so it's not happy, and I haven't seen it in stores since, so I don't know how much longer for this world that Hoya Linearis is. But I if it dies, I really want another one because I think it's a beautiful plant and I think it's really unique and really cool, and I don't know what I did to upset this one but I'm very sorry. I know it's not a plant, but I also just want to address the Mononoke mask. I went to this like local cute stuff store that we have, and I saw it there, and I grabbed it immediately. I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. And the owner told me her family members in Vietnam made it and sent it to here in Canada for her to sell in the store. Like, they're making their own Ghibli merch, basically, because there's no Ghibli merch to buy. And I was like, oh my god, that's incredible. How much is it? And she was like, $25. Isn't that insane? So I obviously bought it, and I love it. But yeah, I've never seen like a plushy Mononoke mask before, and that's where I got that from. Okay, moving over here, in this basket is no longer my lipstick plant. It finally got too big. It was pulling itself out of the pot all the time. I had to get rid of it. But this is my spider plant, the same one that I had before. That was just a little tiny baby thing, and now it's grown huge. It's in a 4-inch pot in that basket. So it's definitely kind of outgrowing its britches, but we're just going to let it do that. It is big, luscious, beautiful. I love it. Not a whole lot to say. It's a spider plant, so I just keep it fairly well watered, and it's happy in the sun, and it's growing humongo. You love to see it. Here on top of the acrobar cabinet in my other book vase situation is my Monstera Peru. Ignore that very yellow leaf. I tried to pull it off with the grabber, and I couldn't do it. I find the Monstera Peru to be a very difficult plant to take care of. I find it to be very temperamental. It likes to drop leaves all the time. I find it very hard to propagate. In general, it kind of hates me. But it's still alive, so it's still here, you know? If it dies, I will not buy another one, but also some of those leaves are getting humongous, so I can't get rid of it. It's fine. We're fine. Here, in front of... Oh, look, my kodama fell over. But in my little book pile, in my little book teacup vase, is just another African violet. It was kind of the only plant I could find in stores that was small enough for that little teacup. My book counter is incorrect. It says 20 books. It should say 23. I'm lazy. What can I say? Inside the acrobar cabinet is kind of hospice, palliative care. There's a begonia that a friend gave me that is just kind of growing out of control in there. And then there's also what's left of my Alocasia poly. It's just kind of a stump. I'm not going to take either of them out to show you. Just know that if I'm trying to save a plant, but I've also given up on both things, it's in there. Now, lastly, moving on to the windowsill. In the corner there, I have my... I don't know what it's called. It's a euphorbia of sorts, but I always call it my cactus because it's just tall and straight up. It's funny because you can actually see the exact moment I moved it out of its dark corner and put it in the windowsill, because it's like, oh, it's kind of skinny and misshapen and sad looking, and then we get here and bam, now it's got babies and it's got all these little tabs on the side. That's when I moved it to the window, and how much it's grown since. It is much happier in the window than it ever was anywhere else, so I will be keeping it in the window for the rest of its life. I wish it looked like that at the bottom, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Sometimes you live and you learn. Beside it here is just a regular succulent. Do you remember when I bought this? It was just a little thing. Just like looked like almost little rosettes in a little 2-inch pot. And now it's kind of got leggy and it's growing out. And I actually had to put it was in the cauldrons, and I had to put it in a 4-inch pot because it was growing so big. The roots were coming out the bottom. I've never seen that with a succulent before. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how that's growing, and I don't have the heart to cut it back or throw it out or get rid of it or anything, so we're just gonna let this like random generic succulent grow as much as it wants. And then last but certainly not least, we actually get to probably my favorite plant feature, and that are the cauldrons. Now, I have a Hoya that I can't remember the name of, I'm sorry, on the left-hand side. In the middle, we have the Hoya Carnosa Hindu rope. And then on the right-hand side is just a strawberry begonia. I've tried to grow the strawberry begonia in other spots, and it's never enough light. It just dies, so that's the only spot where it seems to be happy, so it's just going to live in there forever. It puts out... I don't know if you've ever grown a strawberry begonia before, but basically how it puts out babies is it puts out like a really long, straight, like... Well, what would you even call it? Almost like an arm, and then it grows the baby on the end of the arm, and every time it does that, I just loop the arm back into the pot, so all the babies are in there with it. I have a little mite repellent type thing in the Hoya Carnosa because I got it, and there was one mealybug, and then I killed the mealybug and I treated the plant, and then a couple weeks later I found another one and I treated it, and then that happened about 3 times, so now we're just leaving that little repellent in there, hoping it doesn't have any more bugs. I haven't seen bugs in about 2 months now, so I think we're probably safe, but I don't know. Every time I see someone with like a really big, full, beautiful pot of Hoya carnosa rope, I'm insanely jealous because I have never been able to get mine to grow at all. So I wanted to try again. I wanted to give it the prime spot by the window, and I wanted to get going. And then that other Hoya beside it is just beautiful and dark, and you can see it's putting out its tendrils and grabbing up to the sky. And yeah, I don't know. I just really love having little plants in these cauldrons and growing them out and just leaving them there. I was trying to grow tomatoes this summer. I did fail again for like my 5th year in a row. I'll probably try again next summer and fail again. But yeah, so this has been a tour of all my plants. We'll just do a last little overview. So there's these ones. And then these ones. Poor Lucinda. And then, of course, there's all of these over here. So I have definitely downsized my collection, if you will, a little bit. But not a ton. And there is still the Thai Constellation, but she's outside. And like I said, this is definitely, over here by the window, my favorite little plant area, because it's just so cute to wake up to. And there you have it. Those are my plants. I didn't count. How many plants are there? How many plants do you think I have? Take a guess. Take a number guess. Let me know in the comment section below, and then I will actually go around and count, and we'll see how many there are, okay? Do you have any houseplants? And if so, what are they? How do you take care of them? What do you like? And are you interested in houseplants at all? Is this an area of the world that you'd like to know more about, or do you just generally not care? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!